The best cheap tablet selection isn't as big as you might expect, as there isn't as much of a market for budget slates as there is for mid-range and high-end ones. From the absolute low-cost tablet to a slightly more expensive, but reasonably priced one, this is a list of the best budget tablets one can consider purchasing in 2021. Apple iPad 10.2 2019. The iPad design is iconic, therefore its design hasn't changed drastically despite the expanded screen real estate. The 10.2-inch display reveals a slight boost in size over last year's 9.7-inch iPad, and the latest model finally has a smart connector. Its fully laminated display reduces the gap between the screen and glass, so you feel as if you're drawing directly on the display. It comes in 3 colors, which are silver, gold, and space gray. Note that the keyboard is sold separately, as is the Apple Pencil, and it's quite expensive. As an iFixit teardown revealed, Apple bumped the RAM from 2 GB last year to 3 GB. The base model, with 32 GB of storage, is almost punishingly low, but if you're diligent about streaming movies and music, you could probably get by. With its larger display, support for Apple's Smart Keyboard, and iPadOS, the least expensive iPad is a terrific tablet and potentially even a laptop replacement. Lenovo Smart M10 Plus 2020. The Lenovo Tab M10 10.3-inch FHD Plus has a good screen, a nice design, and almost pure Android. The slim bezels, offering an 87% screen-to-body ratio, are also visually satisfying. It features a Qualcomm Snapdragon 439 processor with 4 GB of RAM and 64 GB of internal storage. Lenovo gave the Smart Tab a USB-C port for charging and a tray for micro SD memory cards to allow for expanded storage up to 256 GB. The 5-megapixel front-facing camera and the 8-megapixel camera on the back take pretty decent photos. It also offers a much larger selection of tablet-optimized apps. Games like Call of Duty and PUBG Mobile do run well most of the time. The tablet features stereo speakers, a headphone jack, good buttons, and pogo pins on one side for the included charging dock. There is a 5,000 mAh internal battery, with up to a 7-hour battery life during video playback. The Smart Tab M10 Plus is indeed a budget tablet for money-conscious users. Amazon Fire HD 8 Plus 2020. The Amazon Fire HD 8 has had something of a redesign over the previous version. The body is molded plastic, and there's a thick bezel all the way around the 8-inch screen. The processor is a quad-core MediaTek affair that's faster than previous generations, but still will get lapped thrice over by most Qualcomm chips. The screen and speakers work well for basic content consumption, and I think the sound is perfectly acceptable even while in show mode. It has 3 GB of RAM, and you can get versions with 32 GB and 64 GB of internal storage. There is a 2-megapixel camera on both the front and back. The home screens are designed to pipe content from Amazon services to your eyeballs, whether it be Prime Video, Kindle, or Audible. Gaming performance is equally good, although it's worth highlighting there's a rather limited selection of games in Amazon's App Store. Honestly, if you want the best tablet experience for consuming content that isn't an iPad, this is probably the device you want. Amazon Fire HD 10 2019. Amazon's Fire HD 10 remains the most reliable 10-inch tablet you can buy, with solid performance, good battery life, and a sharp display. The simple design lends an undistracted experience, and the other features like the buttons are similarly understated. The tablet is 10.3 inches tall by 6.3 inches wide, about the size of a small notebook. The Paperwhite's 300 ppi screen is much crisper, and since it doesn't have backlighting, it's gentler on the eyes. There's a new octa-core chipset under the hood powering things along, accompanied by 2 GB of RAM. The base model only offers 32 GB of storage, and the performance gets much worse when that space fills up. so you'll want to add a micro SD card. There's a 2-megapixel front-facing camera to match the one on the rear. With conservative use, you can get close to 12 hours of screen time. If you don't mind living inside Amazon's walled garden, the Fire HD 10 is the best 10-inch tablet you can buy for the price. Samsung Galaxy A 10.5. The Samsung Galaxy Tab A 10.5 is a good multimedia tablet that has a lot to offer considering its price range. The practical, no-fuss design and the relatively narrow bezels with rounded corners have remained the same. It features a 10.5-inch Full HD display. The display itself is a standard TFT LCD panel and not one of the higher quality AMOLED panels. On the left side, there is a pin connector for an optional keyboard cover. The processor is supported by 3 GB of RAM and the integrated GPU, Qualcomm Adreno 506. But as long as you don't have too high expectations, games like PUBG Mobile are certainly playable. The Galaxy Tab A 10.5 lacks a fingerprint sensor, but Samsung offers face recognition instead. The rear 8-megapixel sensor has autofocus and can shoot video at up to 1080 pixel resolution. Samsung claims that the tablet will last you up to 15 hours for video playback, which is not bad. Overall, it is a very good mid-range tablet from Samsung. Amazon Fire 7 2019. The Fire 7 is about as good as you get for a $50 tablet, particularly if you're a Prime member. It is faster, better designed, and will outlast the Fire 7. But it's a whole lot more expensive too. Thick bezels surround the 7-inch IPS LCD screen, which has a resolution of 1024 by 600 pixels. The size is great for portability, and it's plenty big enough for watching movies on the go. The old tablet's 8 GB of space was too small to hold anything more than a small handful of apps, and the lack of RAM is also a concern for multitasking. There are 2 cameras on the Fire 7, one on the front, which caps out at 720p video, and another on the back, which is 2 megapixels. Amazon states that you should expect 7 hours of reading, browsing, and media watching. To conclude, only when you temper your expectations, and you'll be perfectly happy with the Amazon Fire 7. It's the very definition of cheap and cheerful. Apple iPad Air 2020. The new Apple iPad Air has a fantastic design, the perfect size, and right now it's the best iPad if you can afford it. The Air fits a 10.9-inch 2360 by 1640 screen into the same body size as the 10.2-inch iPad by reducing the bezels. This keyboard, while expensive, is leaps and bounds better than the Smart Keyboard Folio that Apple first introduced with its Pro line of iPads. It uses an Apple A14 processor with 4 GB of RAM and either 64 GB or 256 GB of storage. The Air features a very solid 7MP selfie camera equipped, again, with Smart HDR. On the top of the tablet, there's a really cool innovation in the form of a power button that doubles as a fingerprint sensor. It is capable of up to 10 hours with web browsing or video playback, and up to 9 hours on LTE. It's an excellent tablet, and even with a slight price increase, we still feel it's worth every penny. Lenovo Tab 4 Plus. Reasonably priced with consistent performance, the Lenovo Tab 4 10 Plus is one of the better tablets to look for at its price market. Inside that sleek body lies a 2.0 GHz Qualcomm Snapdragon MSM 8953 processor, 2 GB of RAM, 16 GB of eMMC storage, and a Qualcomm Adreno 506 graphics card. One end of this is home to the power and volume buttons. The other houses the USB Type-C port, headphone jack, and the micro SD card tray. The 5-megapixel rear camera sensor takes grainy photos in most circumstances and struggles with blurriness in low light. The bezels are a decent size, providing enough space for the fingerprint reader at the bottom and the front camera at the top while not being very distracting. Surfing the web at 150 nits of screen brightness over Wi-Fi, the battery survived for an impressive 10 to 12 hours. It's a perfectly good tablet for a family or small office. Lenovo Yoga Tab 3. You have a 10.1-inch 1280 by 800 display, which indeed is not detailed down to every bit and pixel. But it's still effective considering it gives HD video quality and an IPS display. The quad-core, 1.3 GHz Qualcomm Snapdragon 212 isn't exactly a powerful chip, especially when paired with just 1 GB of RAM. It still manages to open apps fairly quickly, but there's the slightest hint of lag with every tap. Its performance is absolutely enough for older, or rather graphically undemanding games like Angry Birds 2. The storage you get in this is 16 GB eMMC, which is not as good as SSD, but will do the job for you. It has a solitary 8-megapixel camera located on its spine, and it rotates 180 degrees to double as a front and rear camera. Battery life is great and lasts at least 12 hours on full charge. If you care about design and you want a tablet for light use, it's worth buying. Samsung Galaxy Tab S7 Plus. The Tab S7 Plus is simply the best productivity tablet for Android users. The LCD looks excellent and offers solid contrast when compared to the larger AMOLED display of the 12.4-inch model. The bezel is thinner than we would expect for such a large display. The 16:10 aspect ratio, while great for viewing content on Netflix and YouTube, can lead to apps not always being displayed properly. It has a tremendous 120Hz OLED display with an in-screen fingerprint scanner. The actual keyboard has excellent travel and a satisfying tactile feedback. It comes with Qualcomm's latest and greatest Snapdragon 865 Plus processor inside, plus 8 GB of RAM and 128 GB of storage. A 13-megapixel primary lens and a 5-megapixel ultra-wide lens comprise the Tab S7 Plus rear camera module. The 8-megapixel selfie camera is perfect for video calls no matter the time of day. Samsung promises the Galaxy Tab S7 Plus will deliver between 15 hours of battery life while watching video. It's an excellent tablet, but the 2-in-1 desktop mode still can't match the iPad or any laptop.